themarshallman.com.
Just to recap, we have set 1,
Yeah.
establishing the strings in the body. Set 2, opening and closing the qua,
And also learning
moving
how to
your
move
center left and right. The third set is stillness in motion.
Yeah, learning how to maintain your center as you're moving.
Yes. And that brings us to set 4.
Yeah, okay. Set 4 is, for me, I find the simplest in concept. It's teaching you how to use the yin and yang, but it's probably one of the hardest to understand and to manifest physically. Okay, the theory is like this, you see. Why do you have yin and yang? Okay, the analogy I would like to use is think of electricity, right? In electricity or like a battery, you have a positive and a negative, right? And the potential difference between the positive and negative is what makes energy flow. You know, this is, I think, as you know, you connect two positive terminals of two batteries, you don't get any flow of current, right? But once you connect a negative and a positive, current starts to flow. So the yin and yang is like the positive and negative. If I'm both, let's say both my hands are yang, or both my legs are yang, I may be very firm, I may be very hard, but I don't have energy flow between them, right? And if both hands are yin or legs are yin, then I'm too soft, I don't have support, I may get easily pushed over. But if I maintain a yin and a yang, not only do I have a firmness on one side, I start to create energy flow within my arms or my legs or my torso. See? So that's why in the form, when we go into this position, we keep this the right hand and make this the yang hand, right? And especially, I want to squeeze the fist relatively hard. Of course, it's not 100%. We normally keep it about 50%, right? But we want to keep this joint and this joint loose. But this joint is stiff and the fist is stiff. And we want to keep this hand very yin. But we want to open the Lao Gong. See? So when I do this, I open the Lao Gong, I put the yang hand on top. But when you hold the fist, you want the Lao Gong to be exposed. I don't want to cover the Lao Gong this way, but I grip it this way, such that the Lao Gong is still open. And I squeeze my fist, actually tightening the muscles and the fascia here. And what that does is, you can think of it as injecting energy from the Lao Gong on this side into the yin side. So I have the stiffness here and the looseness here. And this creates a flow of energy from the yang side to the yin side. So it goes from here down, and you feel the energy actually circulating up my left arm down to my right arm. And again, this is easy to demonstrate. Now, if Kevin wants to push on me as I do this, now, if I keep both hands stiff, right? Yeah, like this, I'm not going to go. Yeah, I go, because I don't have any stability at all. This is hard, so he gives me something for him to push against. If I'm soft, it doesn't work either, because if he pushes, my arm will just collapse and I go. But now let's make this yang and this yin, you see? So what, yeah, you see? Ready? Okay, I go. Now, see, he immediately feels that there's pressure going back into him, right? As I squeeze a bit more, yeah,
The energy came out.
Yeah, the energy goes out, right? So you're actually creating energy by doing the yin and the yang, right? You can feel it.
So Sifu, there's two parts to this then, right? Because the first part is the energy is just being deflected, or it's being repelled back to me.
Yeah, it's just circulating.
Yes.
So I do not project it out.
And then the second part is
when I squeeze a bit harder, I project the energy out.
Yeah, because there's a big difference between the two, you see.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So once I got the energy circulating here, I can make it go in any direction. You see, if you push on me, I energize. See, you feel now it's like full, right? The ring is full. So now I can move this left, right, up, down. You see? Yeah, right? It's very full. Yeah.
Okay, so not necessarily it has to be projected in a straight line out.
It can be any direction. That's why in the form we do this, right? And direct that way. Similarly, I can go back and I swing this round, right? So the energy then goes in a circular motion. Yeah, or I can push this up and send this out, or this way out. Yeah. So once you create the energy flow, then it's up to you how you want to redirect it. But the important thing is to keep the yin and yang connection, in this case, between the two hands. But it also has the yin and yang in the legs. And essentially what that is if I'm in a position like this, I'll put this leg at the back so it's more clear. Because the weight is roughly 60% here, 40% here, that's how we distribute the weight. This will be the yang leg because it's stiff, right? It's supporting my physical weight. And this is the yin leg because I can move it, right? Now, the idea here is to change the yin to the yang and the yang to the yin. So essentially what it means is I think of the energy as a fluid. I want to be able to, right now the fluid here is full and this is empty. So I want to transfer this fluid over to this, right? So as I sink this, I let it fill up. Now I transfer over, and as this fills up, this empties out, right? This gives a very yin sort of forward energy. Again, if Kieran was to push on me, you stand on a very strong stance, right? Now if I were to do physically, definitely doesn't work, right? He's very well grounded and he's got his feet going to the ground, right there. So now I sort of sink down on my right. I let the yin energy, the yang energy fill up, and now I let it go to the front. And slowly I release the back. Okay, yeah, right? You feel it's sort of like it's some sort of fluid being transferred.
It feels like it's pouring into me, actually,
it's pouring
from the
into
back to the front. Yes.
So that is what happens, you see. So that's learning to work with yin and yang. Okay, I find this among the 6, in concepts, the simplest, but it's one of the hardest to learn within the 6, because it's so refined.
And is that also because you're obviously using your legs, you're standing on your legs and using the muscles, and you're having to release the muscles when there's weight transferring, correct?
So I have to learn how to release the muscles and let the fascia take over, and then the fascia will then energize, and that releases the energy over.